So it has come to my attention that not everybody can actually afford a Hulu subscription and in fact cannot actually go and actually watch Solar Opposites. If you remember, I recommended that last week. But so I decided after some suggestions from the comment section that I would make a review series out of it for those of you who can't afford Hulu. So without further ado, this is my review of Solar Opposites. Okay, so this first episode does a good job of establishing the characters. It also establishes what kind of show this is. So it starts off with Korvo, who is trying to repair a giant drill because he's trying to repair the ship and nobody else cares. He's trying to repair the ship that they crash landed in, and so that they can actually get off the planet. As I said in my you should watch video. They're trying to get off the planet before the pupa matures and eats everything. So Korvo is trying to do that. He fixes the drill. He goes down to actually harvest some nickel alloy from the center of the planet, which not surprisingly causes the entire planet to mess up a little bit. And while down there, he accidentally burns his legs off and teleports back to the lawn. So Korvo is now stuck inside, unable to move. His legs have been burnt off. He can't actually walk around. And Terry decides that since he's stuck inside, they might as well watch TV together. Much to Korvo's dismay, until Terry actually lands on a show called Fun Bucket, which is in a very similar situation to theirs. It's about an alien who's stranded on Earth. He doesn't very much like humans, and he's a scientist. So naturally, Korvo believes that he would be a great fit for helping them complete their mission and fixing the ship. And sure enough, the second his legs grow back, they decide to go to the mall, which is where they're doing a meet and greet with Fun Bucket. However, upon arriving at the mall, they discover that Fun Bucket is in fact not real, but in fact a character from a children's show, which is a pretty graphic children's show, if I'm being perfectly honest. But after realizing that Fun Bucket isn't real, Korvo comes up with an idea to actually create their own Fun Bucket and make him real. And it works out as well as you would expect. He uses a machine while it not intended to create things, it basically enables him to be a glorified 3D printer and just make their own Fun Bucket. And it works for a while. But Terry and Korvo keep treating him like Fun Bucket the character and not Fun Bucket the person, and naturally that starts to grate on Fun Bucket a little bit, who likes the way he looks. He's his own independent person. He's not the Fun Bucket, and he notably is getting a little uncomfortable with being treated like a sidekick all the time. So naturally, when they go to a club together as friends, Fun Bucket takes the opportunity to ditch Korvo and Terry and hang out with two new friends, and basically cuts them loose. At which point the two go home, start gooblering, which, if you don't know about, is this condition that Slurpians have, where they just produce little creatures from their head that are kind of like sweat. It's kind of like stress sweat, I guess, but they're sentient. And they start stressing out because they realize that Fun Bucket doesn't necessarily need them anymore, and they're concerned about what they're supposed to do now, and try to figure out what exactly it is that Fun Bucket likes about his new friends, and more or less stalk him to try and figure it out. But it becomes quickly apparent that they're just really desperate for a friend, and realizing that Fun Bucket will never be their friend anymore. They decide to create a second Fun Bucket, which is a lot more impressionable than the first one, and basically will go along with whatever they say. And it works, but this version of Fun Bucket is significantly watered down and is a little stupid and kind of falling apart. So they bring their second Fun Bucket to the club where they took the first one to make the original Fun Bucket jealous. But when the two get in close proximity of one another, the two Fun Buckets actually merge into one bigger Fun Bucket mutant and begin rampaging through the city. At which point they go to the Replicants room, who throughout the course of the day have kidnap their school bully after being yelled at by the principal, and are making a run experiments to actually see what a human brain is capable of, which Jesse and Yumulak are kind of torn over, before it turns out that they're actually being hunted by the police because they kidnapped their bully, and while initially opting to kill her, I instead decide to basically reprogram her brain and try and make her forget, which they are in the middle of doing when Korvo and Terry walk in. So Korvo is immediately taken aback by the fact that they've kidnapped a classmate and are trying to dissect them. And Terry is also notably confused, but then they realize that their situations are very similar. They realize that they can't just do whatever that. Korvo, in the process of scolding the replicants, realizes that the reason Fun Bucket left him was because they were trying to impose their own wills onto somebody else and giving into their emotions, and basically doing whatever they want whenever their emotions get the better of them. And realizing the replicants are in a similar situation, give them a can of soda and ask her to just pour it on her brain until she's cool. And it works, weirdly enough. I couldn't tell you why. It just works. So they take the shrink ray from the replicants and they use it to shrink down the Fun Bucket mutant, which Fun Bucket's new friends ultimately take in. And Korvo and Terry learn a valuable lesson that they can't actually impose their wills onto other people, and that they need to treat people like living things that can make their own decisions. So with that, they go back home and have a family meal with the replicants and explain that they're not going to ground them, mainly because they realize where they were coming from and realize that they need to be that if they want to actually help improve the behavior of the replicants, they need to actually keep an eye on the replicants and actually act more like a family. So yeah, it works. It all works out. The replicants don't get in trouble for anything, and Korvo and Terry learn the valuable lesson of not imposing their wills onto other people. But also it's also implied that it's not entirely over with kidnapping people, because, well, replicants kind of take a human. They kind of take a janitor who tried to bust them and put him in the wall. Basically, they had this giant wall terrariums, they put the janitor in it, and that's the end of that. At least for this episode, that actually becomes a recurring thing throughout the season. I have seen this season, so I know roughly what's going to happen, but yeah, for the most part, that wall just becomes a recurring thing and starts developing its own side plot. So pay attention to the wall; it becomes important very quickly. But yeah. That's my review of Solar Opposites. It's a sitcom, so it's pretty straightforward. But what did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that are my way of saying thanks. So be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!